Right now, there's a growing gap between what Trump has said publicly about Jeffrey Epstein and their relationship and, what official congressional records actually show. These aren't rumors. These aren't leaks. These are documents released by a congressional oversight committee. So let's walk through this carefully. And we're only going to be doing a few of these because there are too many to go through, all right? What Trump has repeatedly claimed is that he was not close to Jeffrey Epstein, right? He even said that he cut ties early from him and called him a creep. He said that he had nothing to do with Epstein's activities and that any basic connection is made up or, exaggerated. That was the public claim over and over and over and over. Now, let's look at the records. All right. First, let's look at some emails. Look at this one right here. This one's in 2018. A whole lot of pain heading Donald's way. House counsel, impeachment counsel, Cummings counsel. Our friend needs to get high ground. Pittsburgh seen to be his doing. Not good at all. That was from Jeffrey Epstein to Michael Wolff on Friday the 9th, November 2018. Interesting. Somewhat of a relationship, I guess, in the 2018, right? Okay. What else do we have here? 2017. Okay. Article on Deutsche Bank and Donald. And then another on Kushner and Qatar. Don't the reports speak to each other? ? Qatar is the biggest shareholder in DB. DB is Donald's funder. Donald goes after Qatar for terrorism against the advice of Tillerson and state, i.e. DB ? Happy face, happy face. That was sent from Jeffrey Epstein to Landon Thomas about Donald Trump in 2017, in July. I can go on and on and on about the fact that he obviously had a very, very close relationship with him for a very long time. So oversight documents include emails showing ongoing communications, like I just read, involving Epstein and people in Trump's orbit. So far, these files contradict the idea of distance between, Donald Trump and Epstein, right? It's just a bunch of mistruths that are consistently coming out of his mouth. They show continued familiarity, not, any type of separation. And that's the contradiction number one right there. That is contradiction number one. And I can keep going. There's even a conversation in here where he's talking about hanging out with the Trump boys, all the Trump guys. This is ridiculous. And then we have the second, thing that we can go ahead and destroy, Trump said, and that's flight records. Trump has continuously said that he has never, ever been on Epstein's plane. Well, guess what? Records show us a completely different story than that. So as you can see, the from is redacted, the to is redacted, the CC is redacted, and the subject is Epstein flight records, right? And this was dated Wednesday, 8th, January 2020, right? For your situational awareness, wanted to let you know that the flight records were received yesterday reflect that Donald Trump traveled on Epstein's private jet many more times than previously has been reported, or that, we are aware, including during the period we would expect to charge in Maxwell's case. In particular, he is listed as a passenger at least 8 flights between 1993 and 1996, including at least 4 flights on which Maxwell was also present. He is listed as having traveled with, among others, and at various times. It goes on and on and on. Another lie from, Donald Trump. And that's, they keep coming, just wait. Okay, but these right here are logistical records, okay? They have dates, they have names, passenger lists. Trump has said he barely knew Epstein. Flight records show some pretty, close proximity over a long period of time. And, that was contradiction number 2. Let's check out contradiction number 3. We actually covered one similar to this in a past video. And let me pull this up for you real quick. So this one is unclassified FBI complaint form. All right. And this is dated 11/23/2016. So it reports, here we go. Let's just like look at the main things here. Okay. 7/4/2016 at 2:16 Eastern, cellular telephone number, redact. Office address located in redact, home address redact. Attorney to Jane Doe contacted the public access line unit to report the sexual exploitation and of a minor child of 13 years of age by Donald J. Trump and Jeffrey E. Epstein, case number also redacted. So this is another example of somebody basically coming forward and saying that Donald Trump did in fact rape them and they were a child. And these things are really hard to, look at because it's just crazy that the FBI had this. We have other federal complaint records, and this is one of the most serious documents, and it's an FBI complaint form entered into the system. Okay. And again, it's showing the allegations of things with a minor, and, it's just like hard to like read and even think about. All right. And it makes it even hard to say this part too. I mean, it doesn't mean that Trump is guilty of anything right now, right? It doesn't mean that the government even gave notice. Obviously, they had no idea they had this. I feel like this would have been looked at if they did. It was swept under a rug or something. It does mean that the government had notice. Trump has, said there was never anything there, but the records show allegations were formally reported. So that's another contradiction, right? And then let's go over like third-party communications, because I find this really interesting, and it brings another name into the situation as well. So the fourth is third-party communication, okay? Oversight documents included messages discussing reputation management, not investigation, all right? They mentioned Steve Bannon talking about pushing back on narratives, managing public perception, and rebuilding images. Right? I mean, Bannon had said it out loud in public that if Democrats get back into office, he's going to prison. And that matters because when serious allegations exist, the public expects accountability, not, image control. And even this image is controlled. So you're looking at it right here on the screen. I want to know, who is he talking to? Steve Bannon's clearly labeled. Is he talking to Trump or is he talking to Epstein? Need the list from the attorney today. Let me know how Oliver goes. Okay, thanks. Appreciate it. As numbers go, I guess my 38 is still worse than your 1.7. We need to work around your 38. First, we need to push back on the lies and then crush the pedo/trafficking narratives. Then rebuild your image as a philanthropist. I'm not going to read the bottom part of that. I don't think it matters. All right. But this now, you're bringing in Steve Bannon, who clearly knows something, and he's talking about trying to change it. Trump keeps saying this is all fake. The documents show people taking, issues serious. Serious enough to manage fallout. That's contradiction number 4. And guys, look, this is dangerous because, this is not about Epstein anymore. Okay, he's dead. He's gone. All right. This is about power and accountability. And here's the danger for all of us. When a powerful person says none of this happened, but official records show repeated contact, travel, complaints and concerns, it tells the public, truth depends on power. Records matter less than, let's say, narratives, and accountability is optional. Remember, guys, optics, okay? And that's dangerous in a democracy. Trump's statements ask people to, believe there was nothing there, that the documents say something very different. But here's the thing. There was enough there to document, record, report, and manage. Those two things cannot both be true. And when words and records collide, records are supposed to win, not the word. Thank you for watching. I am Jared Zisser, and this is Ring of Fire. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on notifications to make sure you are informed about everything important in progressive politics today. And if you are looking for fact-based independent reporting all day, every day, follow me here on Instagram or here on Facebook. See you in the next video.